Well, this is a book written by Rabbi Mimran, and it's on my channel. It's very popular. It's the most popular thing that I do. It is really what to think about, because it's really about the Kabbalah of mind control, how it is that we can straighten our thinking to reach a certain perfection. The world has a problem. The problem is that all of us are limited in our lifespan. I'm getting older now. I don't want to tell you how old I am, but you realize that all the strength that I had, just a few years ago is waning. We all have this situation. But while we're alive and we're young, and we're having children and going through the process of the different phases of life, we feel vigorous. We feel strong, like we'll live forever. Especially the younger we are, the more we think like that. The problem is it doesn't last. Nothing lasts in this world. Everything has, like, say, a shelf life. That's included the plants and the rocks, everything. That's the nature of the world in which we live. It continues to change as the world turns. And we have to cope with this fact. Here comes the Kabbalists to tell you, well, let me tell you something, that hidden inside of here is eternity. That is the ultimate connection with God. That in fact, you can learn how to pair your soul, that godliness within you, with eternity, which is outside of your body. So that's why I use the phrase, maybe it's a little strong to say mind control, but that is control your mind. Learning how to do that and to empty it. To be able to see things clearly, the way that our fathers before us have always striven to do. Now he's going through different techniques, different ideas. Rabbi Mimran's book is really just fantastic. This is part 6. It's technique taught by the Baal Shem. Here we are trying to reach our innermost being. So he quotes from Rav Volvi, the student of the Ramchal, Sefer Bris, Shmos 24. Now the Ramchal, of course, a very famous rabbi, lived immediately after the time of the debacle of Shabsai Tzvi. He's a great, great Kabbalist, and there are a lot of people that follow him very closely. Just as Moshe, our teacher, went up and was elevated, similarly, all of Israel is able to rise up and attach to above, meaning what is beyond the physicality of this world. So this is Baal Shem Tov talking about Parshas Noach in the Sefer Amud HaTefillah. Number 16, he says, in prayer one must place all their power in the words. One must go from letter to letter until one forgets the physical world. Contemplate how the letters are binding together and interacting with one another. Now, just go over this again. This is a short piece that Rabbi Mimran is bringing us here. He's saying that we pray, those of us who follow the Torah or try to, 3 times a day. The Kabbalists say it's actually 4 times. You have to say Kriya Shema Alamita when you go to bed. You say Kriya Shema, that's the 4th time. At any rate, we're praying to God. These prayers can be long or short depending on what you want them to be, or what really nusach you follow. And we could, though, contemplate all the letters, each and every letter, are binding together, interacting with one another, because there's life inside of the letters themselves, especially the Hebrew letters. This causes great pleasure on the physical plane, and all the more so in the spiritual planes. From a Kabbalistic point of view, prayer is meditation. Therefore, to contemplate the words of prayer letter by letter, while it takes effort, It takes time, which can be very difficult. If you're younger, you have to go to work. Enables the one who prays to connect to a very powerful spiritual energy latent within the Hebrew letters. As they say that the letters are written in black ink on top of white. The white is the symbol of the unformed, of the empty power that is behind everything that has physicality to it. It releases a tremendous amount of spiritual energy. Now, this anyone could do, even if you have time, good. If you don't have a lot of time, then do it a little bit. That's what he's saying. Look at the letters as they come together. You don't have to make anything out of it. You just have to look at them, because the power is coming through the letters. Contact with this energy tends to be emotionally charging. So if you could do this, it could be a tremendous thing. So, let me see something. I had something that I've been working with, which is a Rishash on Anabakoach, for those of you who are a little bit advanced, but you could see how he draws the different letters. Now this is really to get us to focus on what's going on here. This is the letter Aleph. It has a Yud in the top and a Vav in the middle and a Yud in the bottom. It's a Gematria 26. So you can see an inner power that is actually bringing these things together. This is for Shabbos, and it has all of the different combinations of the Anabakoach that have to do with each particular day of the week, and in the end it winds up down here. But look how he's drawn the letters and what he's trying to teach us about this. So this is something, not necessarily, this is just something unusual that I have on the side that I'm thinking about. But that is really the basic same idea. You could take the letters and you could see them. Now what the Rishash has done here is he's broken the letters down. Here, over here in the, we're talking about just looking at the two letters, say for the first two letters. Here is Aleph and Beis, which is the word Father. And then you could go on and 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 go on. All of them different drushes that could be made just out of the letters, because there's a lot of power there. So it's Av, then the next letter is the number 13. And I'm not sure exactly what to do with the rest of it. I'd have to think more about it, but that's just giving me some ideas. Let's go on over here and continue on. Where Rabbi Mimran used to say this a lot. Where you think is where you are. Therefore, the projection of our imaginations, when properly focused with pure intent, and purity is really the desire to seek Shem, and properly manifested through correct speech, creates the energy vortex that unites the physical with the spiritual dimensions. He wants to say that the physical is the letter itself, but there is something in the combination of and the appearance of them that reflects the power behind them. Therefore, the daily prayer is far more than mere words. It's the pillar upon which rest the spiritual universes. Wisely did in other words, it's an interface. Wisely said did our sages speak when they said that prayer stands in the loftiest place in the universe. In the ethics of the fathers, we are told that the world stands on three things: Torah, Avoda, which is worship. Torah, of course, we understand, is learning what we're doing, and Gemilut Chesed, acts of love and kindness. These three great spiritual forces are the foundations of the world, the pillars that uphold the whole of existence. Avoda, which is worship, is the second pillar. For the rabbis, Avoda meant prayer. That's what they meant. They called prayer Avoda, Avoda Shabalev, worship of the heart. Prayer takes the place of the worship in the temple. The words of prayer build a bridge between God and man. One should contemplate in prayer that one is arousing the same letters that were used in creating the heavens and the earth and all the created things above and below. So when I showed that depiction from the Rishash, this is an important idea that needs to be understood really well. So I'm trying to say this, and these are the words of Rabbi Mimran. One should contemplate in prayer that one is arousing the same letters that were used in creating the heavens and the earth. That is the power of eternity, and all the created things above and below. Thus, when we recite our prayers and praising, we are harmonizing with all of the worlds and all that was created. We are actually touching that force. You are arousing the letters. The letters are the life force of all that is created. Thus, with everything that you say with this intent, you elevated all that was created in the heavens and upon the earth. Now, Rabbi Mimran always brings us a little blurb at the end, and he says like this: when you think, where you think is where you are. Therefore, the projection of our imaginations, that's mind, but in the imagination form, what can we perceive? When properly focused with pure intent and properly manifested through correct speech, creates the energy vortex that unites the physical with the spiritual dimensions. The vortex of energy, that's a metaphor for, if it's corny, tikkun elevator kollel, that's what the idea is. Be able to reach the energy that allows us to rise up. This is Baruch Fleischman. You've been listening to the Tikkun Elevator Kollel, and particularly to the work of Rabbi Yosef Chaim Mimran. This gives you a lot to think about.